As it turns out, the streaming service I'm using, called Restream, does not like using your mobile data. So it skipped out, and you basically didn't hear half of what I had to say yesterday, even though we were on a walk and it was really sunny and beautiful outside. So we're just going to touch on that one more time, and I'm going to delve a little bit deeper with it. First, some smudging. So sometimes when we do this like exploration of hero journeys and whatnot, so this is for day 48 of the happiness challenge. So yes, feels good. So sometimes when we're on our journeys in life, like we've been exploring for the last couple days, we get these projections that really don't serve our greatest and highest good, and we follow those projections, right? Maybe into a different career, or maybe we even follow them. Whoopsie. Maybe we even follow them into relationships or friendship groups that we don't even appreciate or really aren't for our greatest and highest good. Maybe even behaviors, whatever it could be, right? So looking into the past, we were able to see how our lineage was influencing us and then how society influenced us. And it's good to break these apart because they give us an understanding of the dynamics that influence us in our world, but also how one is like our development, and then the other one is the continued on how we would operate for the rest of our lives, okay? And are we going to get stuck into, let's just say, like the lower vibrations or not your vibrations of the world? Again, I am all about helping you experience what you are here to do, and that is the path to the greatest happiness that we will ever experience, right? So understanding that, like in the previous video, I said, we don't need 100 Michael Jordans. We need just one. And now we need you also. And if you want to be a basketball star, great, do that. Because your flavor is going to be completely different than anybody else's. And you're going to influence an audience that nobody else has the ability to influence, right? And the reason why we can say that this is a truthful statement is because we have billions of people on this planet. And yes, there are some really famous people out there that are huge influencers, but the people that really help us to grow or move are really in our closer proximity, right? So it's understanding how we're operating in the world, and our hero journey that we've been discovering is going to allow us to understand where we're walking, who we're going to interact with, right? Previously I mentioned that you can look up online, like Wikipedia or something like that, to look up the 17 different stages of the monomyth. And our journey may incorporate some of them or all of them, okay? That's totally up to you. As you look through it, it's a perfect opportunity to reflect on how your lineage is influenced, or where those 17 parts of the hero journey fall within your lineage, and then also where they fall within society. So we did those two things. Now we're going to go into our own lane. Internally, really, what are you here to do? Right in this moment, though. We're not talking about the big picture of, like, what is my life here to do? We're talking about in the moment, which could correlate, okay? We could have passions of the moment or inspirations of the moment that bring us to, that follow through, with a societal projection of what the hero journey is, because maybe society is asking you to take up one of their hero journeys, and that's perfectly okay as long as it aligns with you, right? As long as it makes you happy and you're expressive and all this good stuff. So diving into this a little bit deeper, let's go ahead and give you a couple examples of where you can look for your passions about what you want to do, okay? So in the actual hero journey, we look to what inspires us within for meaningful work that makes us go, yes, I want to wake up in the morning. And it makes you like some of us hate our alarms, and by that I mean we don't like to go to where we're about to go next. But some of us are super excited to start the day and be in the mode of service because it's so fulfilling, and the universe has our back. The world around us is here to support us in the endeavors that we do. And when we are completely authentic in that journey, when we know what we're here to do, when we know where our hero journey is taking us, instead of following another hero journey path, then we get to shine even brighter, and people can see it in your eyes. So think about like examining perhaps inequalities of this world. A lot of us are drawn to helping to create balance in the world, to help our communities in some way, whether that could be a close proximity community, such as a social group or something like that. So maybe it has to do with a cultural community, such as an indigenous community, the Black community, the Hispanic community, whatever it would be. Or it could be another type of community, such as the LGBT community, right? Or a religious community even. So think about that, and also think about the inequalities that are present. And we could look into like the inequalities of the world, like the income inequalities, health inequalities, racial inequalities, gender, maybe technological inequalities, and what else could I say in that nature? Maybe like you're even drawn in your social groups to build connections, networks, and relationships, okay, that influence the collective. And so that the collective, the rest of everybody else, is inspired to also do those things. Because the more connection that we have in the world, the more meaningful, the more like joyous we are, the more experiences that we get to have, the more times that we get to understand who we are and how we fit in, right? Who is our tribe when we have those connections and networks and we build relationships. Because a lot of us maybe don't know how to build relationships or how to build those meaningful relationships, how to reach out. And if you were to embark on a journey like that to discover what it's like for you to do that, wow, that's a really interesting thing, right? So it's very interesting to see how just the passion of doing that can have big rippling impacts in the world. Or maybe you're called to do even an inequality, an extreme inequality, like let's just say an inequality that tackles the overall joy in the world, so that we decrease hate and apathy, right? And we increase all of the positive qualities in the world. These negative qualities in the world that we see are all here to teach us things and teach us kind of how to come back into our heart, how to come back and learn to love ourselves a little bit more so that we can reflect that love back onto our fellow man. So interesting in that space. So maybe you're called to do something like that. Maybe you are actually called to help people learn expression of some form. So maybe some expressiveness through like physical activity, through dance, through imaginative expressions, even like theater or literary works. Okay, maybe you are destined to do something like become a writer. What does that take for you, right? Oh my gosh, those are some big shoes to fill in some cases. So just thinking into all of that space. Okay, those are just examples. But what are you called to do? And we can look again at how our lineage has influenced us. Are those things in the alignment with who we are and who we're here, what we're here to do, and then also society. But we're not looking at the big picture of our life. We're just looking at right now. Right now. So what are the experiences you're going through? Because you're on a hero journey right now. And that's what we want to discover. What hero journey am I on? And is this the right path for me? Right? Is it actually going to help fulfill my life and create huge depth and meaning? Or do I notice that I'm avoiding depth and meaning? Interesting in that space, right? So if I'm avoiding life, if I'm just going and doing and not digging deeper and not contributing in some way, perhaps what you're doing isn't for your greatest and highest good, and that stagnicity is a signal, that mediocrity is a signal to ask you to play bigger. It's pretty incredible, right? So go ahead and journal by sharing this post and use the hashtags of 90-Day Happiness Challenge. Go ahead and then tag me, Matthew Embry McLean, Shamanic Happiness Coach, so I can find your post and do some comments on it, encourage you along your way, because we are almost to day number 50. Holy moly. And from that space, we're going to get into a little bit more action, a little bit more moving and grooving on many other levels, okay? Going to dive in and develop other skills that are really going to expand us. I'm super excited for that. The days 50 to 60 are just super exciting. So stick around. If you do have any questions or need help, please reach out to me. Okay? With light and love, I say namaste, and I'll see you in the next video in just a second for day 49. Here we go.